Live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. I'm back in Fukuoka. Is this microphone working? First thing first. So I'm holding this because, this is so long that if I wear it, it'll go really below. So that's why I'm holding it here. Let me know. Um, when I was in Tokyo, so we were staying at a hotel, and one day I put my like iPhone, like a regular iPhone earphone thing on the bed sheet, like which was white, and the earphones are white. So probably the cleaning guy, who is a foreigner apparently, he he just got rid of that too. And look, we asked the hotel clerk if they found my earphones. They said no. They just threw away my earphones. But I'm like, it's like 20 bucks, so like I shouldn't really like, I need to buy a new one. But other things like my phone case is kind of breaking, so everything is telling me to get a new phone. I think like it's been a long time since I had like this phone is getting old too. So like when you buy a iPhone, you should get a new earphones, right? Do you hear me well? Thanks for you warned us first. Sorry. I'm using my iPad, and I could use like a notification. Like I could schedule it too, but I guess I'm too lazy. But I hope to get a new laptop soon. I need a new laptop, new iPhone. Yeah, everything before Trump launches. Trump's tariffs start like officially, I guess. But anyway, let me. Oh, I forgot to. I'm gonna put you down here. Wait for me. I need to post this. I forgot to copy the link of this YouTube live. Give me a minute. I'll do it quickly. Quick, Yoko. Let me see. Copy. And no, don't delete that. Here. And post. Yes. Done. Okay. Do you hear me well with this? Like this should be, I don't know where the micro. Oh, this is the microphone. Hi. Hello. Anyway, hey Yoko, I hope things are good, and congratulations to Shohei for becoming a dad. Oh, is that what it is? Like I haven't been checking out the news much, but I did see some coverage about Otani. Oh, is he a dad now? That's great. Like a legendary kid. He or she will be a legendary kid. That's exciting. How lucky is it, would it be to be born as the parents who are both like athletes and like they have so much money and everything, great reputation from the entire world. Wow, I'm so happy for them. Glad you were interviewed again by Fox. Yes, thank you, Fox. It was business. I don't know how it works. Fox Business and Fox News. Like Fox News inside Fox News. There's Fox News, Fox Business, but Fox Business interviewed me this time. So thank you, and please share that article. Like you guys already gave me a lot of likes, and some people reposted and so on. But if I get to have like bigger number, of like interactions, then I'm sure that they will want to interview me again. So do that. Okay. Easter sunrise service in 7 hours, 5 a.m. What does that mean? I don't really know like how things work with Easter. I'm not too familiar with Christianity, I have to say. I want to learn though. After I'm done reading the book I'm reading right now, I hope to read like I have a translation, or it might be like a summary of the teachings, but I have a Japanese book which contains three big religions, including Christianity, and it's like the story of the Bibles are there, so I should read that, in order to understand your teachings and how it was formed and so on. Yaka looks elegant as always. She was awesome. She has awesome hair and she's 21. Yes. Forever 21. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Yaka. Hello. Thanks for coming. So I was in Tokyo. I don't know how much I'm allowed to tell you, but the reason why I was there was because our friend, Ukrainian friend, told us that these this one Ukrainian parliament member wants to come to Japan to meet our national diet members, like our parliament members, and we organized like it's not only him but like three or four parliament members from Ukraine were coming, so we prepared for that, like contacting all the parliament members here that we know, and also many things that I can't really go in details. But as a result, though many things happened, those national diet members couldn't come. But because we had already made a lot of appointments in Tokyo, my husband and I, including the organizer on their end, the Ukrainian friend of ours, and this Ukrainian guy who lives in Japan, who is very famous. I'm actually reading his book right now. Big book, his book, like really thick though. It's amazing that he's Ukrainian and he can write Japanese perfectly. But anyway, like yeah, four of us were uh, apologizing to everyone who got involved. Sorry, like this time they're not coming. But yeah, but so yeah, we met though a lot of Japanese parliament members, together with like those who are just in the political field. But it was great. It was really productive to, um, get together in person. And also the organizer on their end, he was able to talk to our people too. So it was better than nothing and very productive rather. So that was great. But yeah. So, and what was interesting is that I wish I could have taken them to this new exhibition. Like this is a National Museum of Territory and Sovereignty, Japan's sovereignty. You see the animals. So these are our islands either taken or threatened by other countries like China, Russia, and South Korea even. So they it's like a symbolic animals are depicted together with the islands. But this is like a pamphlet, brochure, whatever. So yeah, and they renewed the exhibition in Tokyo. We had been there before, but now they have this amazing exhibition. It's a small room, but you go in and they project this cool, real, very like VR-ish footage, like maybe 10 minutes long or so, like almost 10 minutes, probably over 5 minutes or so. Like it's kind of long. You stand there, but you feel like you're over the ocean and so on. And I posted one of the footage on X, so check it out if you haven't. But it was great. So we went there on the last day. It was really, really good. But my friends were already, had left. So, but anyway, Easter is a holiday service or mass for Catholics. It's another name for attending church. Oh, you get together on Easter. Cool. Like I know of egg hunting, but that's all I know. So you go to church and then egg hunt. What else do you do? Like such a sacred day. Howdy all, howdy, hello everyone. Konnichiwa, Yoko, konnichiwa. Congrats on getting interviewed by Fox again. Happy Easter, all. Happy Easter. Thank you. You go to church. Plain and simple. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I like people who have faith. Like I didn't really care about that until I started to pay attention to American politics and world politics. Like I grew up not really thinking about politics and religions because I didn't have smart enough brain back then. But once I hit like late 28 or so, I started to understand how politics works. And then especially after I started to learn about how politics is in the US, then of course, like I knew that the conservative, like I learned the conservative people in the US are very, very Christian or Jewish. And so, like, and they all have faith, and I had to understand where they are coming from, like what kind of like a mentality they have and so on. And of course, I want to find some common things in between. And I started to reflect on my side. And that was at the same time, it was a time that I met my husband, and he is such a like a spiritual and also a really a religious person. He believes in Shinto and Buddhism, and even though I had known about my religious background, like, but I didn't really care about it too much. So, but through my husband, I learned a lot about it, and now I know how to think about my own religions. And so yeah, and now my husband and I, we always like we have a so-called kamidana, like a divine, like mini shrine, like a spiritual Wi-Fi thing, like a it's a small shrine. Our place, we have that. So every day we do this, and and then pray to our gods and or deities, and also our ancestors, to feel connected and wish their uh, like wish the best for them. Like it's not really about us. Like we just thank the guidance and everything, and we just thank them for being there, watching over us, and also that we just hope that every day that they have a good time. So when they have a good time, they will do good things for us, right? So we just I hope that you are doing well, to the other side. We say that. So now, because I do that, like in Japan, we have the cultural values of like we are lived, like in a passive, it's a passive expression. Like like in English, you say, I'm alive or I live, you live, right? But in our culture, we say that we are lived, like we are, like they have us live, that with their guidance and protection, we are alive, and it's not like our ability. You know what I mean? Like they 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 they're like using us as dolls or something or avatars, and so we are here because of them. So we have that sense. So like because now I am like relig no, I don't like the term like or world or expression religious, because it's like I just have faith now. So like those who can be grateful for all the guidance and fate and everything, like if you believe in the divine power, then I can have a conversation with you, like to believe in something way bigger than we are. Because of that, uh, you stop being egoistic, right? Like those who don't have faith, they are selfish. They believe that they can control everything, even though they are actually controlled by all the big powers above us. So like you can't really have a conversation if you don't have the common grounds, right? So like that's why I like yeah, talking to those who have a faith now. Anyway, Easter is a celebration of the resurrection of Jesus and gratefulness for that. They also do egg hunts in Easter basket dinners and stuff. Cool. I went egg hunting once. Squirrel took mine. Right. Animals take them. You guys have so many squirrels. That's interesting. I don't see them here. What I see here is little birds and pigeons and crow and sometimes cats. That's about it. We don't have forests like where we live. We do have, we are surrounded by, like, the majority of Japanese land is actually forest, but we don't go in there. So, hi Yoko, guess what? I'm going to Japan again. I'll be going in May. Oh, nice. Good to know that. Didn't you come here like a few years ago? Um, yeah, that's good. Good. May is a good season too. I don't believe in a higher power or gods, but I'm not someone who is selfish either. I'm not. I'm not seeking to control anyone. That's good. I don't know. Like I didn't deny gods and so on before, like I became this conservative. But still, I used to be depressed. But that's so stupid to be depressed when, like, if you know that you are guided and protected and everything's happening for you, and it's up to you to find the messages and so on to take advantage of whatever is given to you. But you can't notice that because you think that you are alone and you are in this by yourself and so on. So then you get depressed, right? So I realized that I was thinking like that, but I realized like I was not I was not what I thought I was. So yeah. 7 times? You've been to Japan 7 times? Wow. Always in June. Rainy season? Really? Wow. Easter movies? There are Easter movies? Can I watch? Are there any on Netflix? Because I'm interested. Some Christian movies like about Christianity are good. Yeah. Or whatever it is. I don't know. Was it Jewish? I don't know. Like my husband made me watch some movies. I enjoyed it. So, hello Yoko from Michigan. Oh, hello. Thanks for coming. If you don't have basement, you can the conversation blown away easy. What do you mean? What? Sometimes, like when I scroll back, I don't know what I was talking about at the time of the comment. So sorry for that. So if you marry in Shinto, if the previous person married, would you have been married to multiple people? You just have multiple people. You love to have multiple spouses. Why? Our marriage system, at least today, is that you just get married and then get divorced and then get married again. I don't I don't understand the question. Let's see. Kami can guide you too. Yeah. I'm a deconstructed Christian, so I'm kind of in a weird place. What is that? Deconstructed? What does that mean? Oh, by the way, when I went to the museum that I was talking about earlier, we got. Did I post this picture? I don't think so. Like, look, like all the. It's actually heavy. We got a lot of materials from the museum or exhibition. What is it called? Museum? National Museum. So it's really small though, just so you know. But yeah, they have these for free. Most are in Japanese. This one in particular is in Japanese, but uh, they have in English. For example, this is Senkaku Islands. This is Senkaku Islands, one of the Senkaku Islands. So like they have all this English explanation. So I got like you can take these things for free, like if you enter. So I got them and hope to use these to talk about our territories and so on. So this one, for example, northern territories. So then I can explain everything, right? Takeshima, did you know that South Korea is saying that this Takeshima island is theirs? We have a territorial disputes with them too. And now that South Korea Yoon is out of the picture now, and they're picking up the new leader there, and the next guy is likely to be a extreme leftist who is very anti-Japan. He's a populist, so hopefully Korean people will not bring up all these historical or territorial disputes against Japan because we don't have time to fight each other right now. We have to fight against North Korea and China, right? Together. Hopefully, South Korean people get that, but there's a possibility that we'll be fighting over it too. So I have to be, I have to be ready. Anyway, Super Chat, thank you so much. Yoko-chan, hello. I plan on visiting Fukuoka in late August or September. Anything I should make sure to see festival, restaurants, etc. Uh, it kind of depends on the temperature, but in August we have like summer festival. Like usually it happens around 15 August 15 or so, or maybe earlier. But like last year, what happened was that it was so like extremely hot that our festivals and so on got delayed. Because the later the cooler. So hopefully you catch that. Like a Hakozaki Shrine has a big festival. I think like that gets on TV. Hakozaki. Yes, they somehow sell ginger. I don't know why. But any shrine or local area, they like we all have summer festivals. So I'm sure you can go to one. Also, regardless of seasons, there is this shrine that my husband and I got married, but it's actually very famous in Fukuoka, like symbolic of Fukuoka, called Dazaifu Tenmangu, Dazaifu Shrine. Of like it's a shrine for Michizane Sugawara, and it's really beautiful and the atmosphere is really nice. There's a bridge of past, present and future, so you cross that to I don't know, transform or something too. So it's good. And also on the coast side, there is Umi no Nakamichi, uh, like where you can cycle, and there are some animals too, like a zoo, and yeah, like we have a lot of stuff. You could even hike too. I can't even. It's a lot to do. Yeah, restaurants. Just hit the Hakata station. They have a lot of like in Japan often like in big. It doesn't have to be big city, but like our JR line usually have, at least on the west side of Japan, we have train station with a big mall. So you can shop, and also you can go to restaurants there. So yeah, just go to Hakata or Tenjin and you enjoy your stay. Yeah. Anyway, yes, super chat will be appreciated. Also, will be prioritized I'll read super chat first. So, and this is maintained by this show is brought to you by my sponsors on YouTube. So like if you give me super chat, that'll be I'll appreciate it. By the way, this is article about this is Yomiuri Shimbun, and you see Trump. It's talking about. Actually didn't read it. Like it goes into like history and so on. So like I have to actually pay attention to read, learn new things. So like I didn't have time to do that before I came here. So, but you can see your president, early president too, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and blah blah blah, and new ones too. So very educational. But this is, I believe, this is actually kind of critical. This column is, like dividing the world, and it's dangerous, and it's based on their country, isolation, strengthened, and so on. It's critical not to bash Trump though. Like we are trying to learn what is happening and what's the background and so on. That's the approach of Japanese people. But I have to say that Yomiuri Shimbun, this newspaper, is very general, like not kind of conservative leaning, like LDP leaning maybe, but really really general, like common sense kind of thing. So Japan is in this difficult situation right now. We depend on America economically and militarily, and our national security works like is protected. We have this security because of the U.S. Everybody knows that. So we wanna, and we love the friendship that we have built together. So of course, like we want to be with the U.S., but at the same time, we are trying to understand what is happening right now. I understand like what Trump is trying to do and so on, but the commentary that he makes, is it's confusing people. So this is a general things, and I read stuff like this in order to understand what my people are thinking. Like if you want to feel good, if you want to feel validated about the opinions that you have, you can always read Sankei Shimbun, like conservative newspaper. But I like to think objectively. So like I like my husband and I, we read this newspaper. Whew. Anyway, let's see. What's your take on Southeast Asia taking advantage of the tariff chaos to replace China as the world's manufacturers? Uh, what do you mean replace China as the world's manufacturers? Are they like my recognition is that China already is the factory or manufacturer of the world because we made it so. Uh, it's interesting that every time I see like Chinese people say like they're like I don't know how to ex- um like what's the word for it, like they have this attitude like Chinese people like a consulate general or the like ambassador level or whatever or spokesman of China, like they say like, oh, we make all these products and Americans are wearing the clothes or eating the foods or whatever, but we made it so, including Japan. Like China was so like poor at the beginning of their journey, like in modern era. So it was a win-win situation that like we wanted, like the West wanted cheap labor, and also there was a hope that if we help them grow like prosper, then they will become, they will grow to be a good country who has which has a good understanding of our cultural values and so on. They just ended up being, they grew up to be this monster, expansionist monster, very aggressive monster, uh, which you know, is trying to dominate the world in a really dangerous way. The country which puts people in concentration camps and make them like forced labor to them, and violate human rights and so on. So it's like the calculation think failed, and like we were wrong to hope the best from China, at least under the Communist Party's leadership. And the reason why, as I said in the interview with Fox, I started to support President Trump. um, of course, like, because two reasons. One is it was because Japanese people didn't know about him at the time, like when he first ran for presidency in 2015. Nobody knew who Trump was, unless like they are interested in business, and politically speaking, like Trump, like I saw Trump train, like I could tell people were getting on Trump train, and I'm like, oh, Japanese people need to know. And also that if Trump wins, I was thinking back then, like if Trump wins, then like Japanese people had the same approach as the liberals in the US. We take information from the mainstream media most of the time. So like our media was borrowing the information from the liberal media in the US. So of course, like the narrative is that, oh, Trump is outrageous, like he's crazy, he's racist, like he's a bigot and that sort of things. So then and even our conservative leading figures, they were saying like, oh, Trump is crazy, like he doesn't common sense, and they were saying that. I'm like, no, like Trump is trying to fight against China, and also which benefits us, and also like I knew what he stood for, like making America great again, and how it benefits us. So I understood that together with the like a very popular opinion there. So I was introducing that to Japan because I felt the need. Because when Trump wins, or if at the time, if Trump wins, then we need to be ready, right? Like at least know what he stands for and so on. Like we need to be ready beforehand, right? So that's why I started to say that. At the same time, personally, I thought that Trump's approach to China is favorable. Like I really liked his like the what he was looking at, in China was the same as me, like with Peter Navarro and so on. Like I had the same sense towards China, so I'm like, yeah, go for it, you know. So yeah, why am I talking about that though? I don't remember. Okay, super chat. I see super chat. Let's go one by one. Thank you so much, Yoko. Happy Easter to you and your husband. Thank you so much. Happy Easter to you too. I should have bought like a bunny ears or something. it's it's kind of wrong though, I guess. If a grown up woman wears a rabbit ears, then that could maybe symbolize something else. But yeah, thank you for your super chat. It really helps me and my channel. Thank you so much. Another super chat. Thank you so much. You often say you behave and think differently when compared to the average Japanese person. Do you think it would be usual to explain your perspective versus the norm? Sometimes I can't tell whose opinion you're sharing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I need to give the premise. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Yeah, I try to do that. If I don't say things, then I'm probably talking about my personal things. Yeah. Like when I talk about the public, I say like, oh, public, like, I usually define the types of people, like, oh, LDP supporters or conservatives or something like that. Yeah, but thank you. Japanese people in general, though, just so you know, that majority of people do not care about politics. So uh, when I usually talk about conservatives and leftists. Leftists are leftists, so they're the same as leftists in the U.S. Pretty much. So yeah. Anyway, good morning from Sweden. Thank you for tuning in. Have you been on Fox? Yes, I've been on Fox many times. Uh, yeah. How many times? Four or five? Not many. Wait, I don't know. Multiple times. About usually I talk about Japan-China relation, I think. One time I talked about Japanese health background. Yeah. Yoko, I caught the stream. Yay! Thanks for coming. I got the impression. Thanks for the clarification. Thank you. Yeah, it's important. That makes you like that by you asking that like what I'm like you asking me what I'm referring to makes me realize that you have a great literacy. Because some people don't care, like, oh, Japan is this and that. Like, Japan is actually big and there are many different types of people. So, yeah, just so you know, on social media, like, Japanese people are on X. Like, a lot of people are on X. And we post a lot because we can't we get on social media and have a verbal like what's the word? Blah. I forgot the word. Like blah. You gotta express verbally because we have this culturally repressive environment. We suppress ourselves all the time to be nice, to have a harmony, to have this peaceful society. So we prioritize the public over ourselves. So because of that, like even like married couples, like they are thinking about something, but if they say that, then it just ends up fighting over and over again. So they don't do that and just go to social media and complain. Um, so sometimes what we see, like the posts that we see are ridiculous, but what I'm trying to say is that what you see on social media, usually like happy people are not on social media. Probably in the same case in your country as well. But Japanese people, like my family, for example, back home, like they don't have social media accounts. They're never on social media. I mean, I guess my mom, for example, watches me, like probably watching me right now too. Sometimes checks me, check out my live stream to see how I'm doing and so on. But that's it. My real friends, they don't use social media, you know. And but there are many active users on X from Japan, and those are special people. That's a big um, premise that you should be aware of. Hmm. Because those who are on social media usually have, like myself, like I was a depressed kid, so like I didn't have friends in person. So, oh, kawaii, so miserable. But yeah, back then I was like depressed, so that's why I went on social media and to get connected online and so on. But the time changed, and it became like digital platforms became infrastructure of our modern days. But after that, uh, yeah, those who are like people that want to complain just go there. And especially in Japan, what happens is that elderly generation, like those who are over 60 and so on, um, they don't have like in their time, like conservative ideology was crazy in the society. Like Japan was still living under the consequences of losing the war, which means like attacking Japan, our country, ourselves. So we are like really self, what's the word? Like we were just attacking ourselves. And so that's why they had to go on social media when the platforms came from America. We used that. And elderly people, they don't have people around them that they can talk to. They come online, and also they are nerdy people too, so they don't think in a healthy way. It's like different from like ordinary Japanese people, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and then usually elderly too. Nowadays, though, like in the past 1 or 2 years, I think that it's like political politicians and so on, or political candidates, they started to use social media very massively. And now things are changing, but still, like normal people, regardless, like I don't have the impression, at least personally, that people are using social media much. Hmm. Anyway, I've heard about people making multiple oaths on X just to vent their true opinions. Yeah. Because in Japan, of course, like if you have a proper, like good job in Japan, if you have a good job, then you don't want to be seen making, strong opinions, because then that would affect your business. So they may have like a professional account, like a regular like work profile, and also, and then we call it like a ura aka. Like ura means like on the back, back account, that like in the shadow, so public and the opposite account. So we have a term for that too, ura aka, like account. Yeah. So sometimes like celebrities too, like our celebrities are not like American celebrities. They're just, those who get on TV and so on. But our kind of celebrities, they, of course, they get on social media, right, for their work. And then some often they have another account, and they forget to switch on and off, and it causes problems. So that's always funny. But yeah, X freedom for us, the people, as well. Yeah, I like X now, because back when X was Twitter, it was a bunch of liberal stuff, like manipulated too. Once Elon Musk took over X, I stopped seeing all this recommendations, like liberal recommendations. I stopped seeing that, and like Japanese people realized that um, it was manipulated, So that's good. But at the same time, like freedom exists only with rules. So I do want rules, because I don't want chaos. Like freedom doesn't mean chaos. So I do need a little bit of control. It's about the balance, though. Vomit. Yes, that's the word. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. Vomit was where I was going on. Go into self-loathing. Yeah. Yup. You're literally reminding me my mental health got worse because of Twitter and TikTok, but it hit a low, so I left. That was 2020. Really? Yeah. Like when I feel bad, I'm more on X. Like when I am anxious and so on, I get on X, and then it makes me even more anxious. I mean, bus, I get on a bad cycle. But anyway, do you want to talk about politics? Like even on this front page too, they are talking about Trump, like how dangerous Trump is and so on. Um, like this Trump's recognition, power is justice, and he is using that. And this man is comparing that to like Athens, like a really long time ago. But I'm not sophisticated, so I don't actually understand what he's saying. The examples from the past are so difficult. But yeah, but keeps talking about like a world order and so on. Yeah. Oh, but I'm glad though that Trump might not, uh, you know, try to stand in between of Ukraine and Russia. Russia will not stop. They will not stop. They just want it. They believe that Ukraine is Russia. They will not stop. And if Ukraine stops, then then they will just be taken over by Russia. And I, from Japan, it's the same as other Japanese people in Japan as well, but we experienced the World War II, like uh, Japan didn't want to surrender because we saw other colonization, like those countries that were colonized, and we didn't want to become that. So we didn't know what would happen if we surrendered, like so like we really understand what Ukraine is going through. By the way, I went to the museum as I said. I got this too. There. You can see that, right? National Museum of Territory and Sovereignty. And there's this is a character of this is a back. You can see the front of the character on the back. It's also the character. How cute is this? I hope this is not made in China though. I can't even. Oh, made in Cambodia? Cambodia is like a puppet of China, though. You see, Cambodia. That's interesting. At least it's not made in China. But this is a character of Senkaku Islands. this is this Senkaku Islands character, and this is Northern Territories character Erika, because it's taken from Etopilica. Erika. We have a character. In Takeshima, they have like I don't know the like another animal, but anyway. Let's see. Are you worried about American tariffs? A little bit, yes. Uh, what's what's interesting about it though is that so Japanese people are what we like the media too. The media and also our politicians, everybody, you know, talks about how to negotiate with Trump. Like Trump's personality, how Trump negotiates, how he approaches that sort of stuff is analyzed. Those stuff things are analyzed in Japan, like on all levels, and yeah. The biggest thing is what we learned from Shinzo Abe. Like he left many wars, and one of the things is that you shouldn't say no to Trump. Like you once have to say, oh, okay, then and accept, and then say something else, right? Like your opinion and so on. And also, former Prime Minister Kishida recently talked about how to negotiate with Trump as well, because what Trump is trying to do is to make deals to benefit America. Benefiting America is the biggest part for him, and he doesn't really care about how Japan and America relation was before Trump. He wants to say that in this time, Trump made things happen. That's what he wants. So we have to adjust. Like we cannot talk about like, oh, Japan, for example, like for imported cars, for example, Japan doesn't impose tariffs. It's 0%. But we don't need to talk about that because it would only like make Trump angry. Instead, like we have to talk about, oh, you know, Japan can build new factories in America to increase employment in America and so on. So like we have all this like approach ideas for Trump and so on, and also our tariff czar called Akazawa, Mr. Akazawa, the economy revitalization minister. I think that's what it's called in English. But Akazawa is in charge of the negotiation. That's the guy who met Trump, like a job interview. The picture is so interesting. He sitting in front of Trump, and his Greer and Besant, is it Besant? Um, they're there and so on. But they had a session, a small time, like a little time of like exchanging goods. Like a Japanese side gave Trump like myaku myaku, like the official mascot of World Expo taking place right now in Osaka Prefecture, Expo 2025. The official mascot, but in golden color. It's golden. It's really rare, and together with normal its dolls and so on. And in exchange, Trump gave them MAGA hats with signatures, I think. But Akazawa immediately wore that, put on the hat, and did this thumbs up gesture. And Japanese people are saying like, oh, like some people criticize the guy for saying like he behaves like, oh, I'm such a low class, even though I'm in charge, I'm really low compared to the president of the U.S. and so on. Like he is basically making himself look bad, even though he represents Japan. Like it's not about him, but he represents Japan. So he needs to be confident. But he's like, oh, I'm lower and lower and lower than Trump. He said that in an interview by the press. So like many people, including like opposition party leader and so on, or even like conservative leading figure in the like in a discourse, not discourse, discourse, yeah, discourse. Uh, Many people are angry at the like how he did that, but at the same time, some people are saying, but in order to talk to Trump wearing a MAGA hat and following his lead and diving into his culture and so on, just respecting him instead of like showing our pride and so on. It works for the negotiation, so we should do that and so on. So there's some kind that sort of discussions are going on in Japan. Anyway, thank you for your super chat. What do you think with that with the Japan rep meeting with Trump? Oh, what I just talked about, representative. Yeah, he did great though, but Mr. Akazawa was chosen because he was just loyal to our prime minister, current prime minister Ishiba. Ishiba doesn't have many allies because he was speaking ill of everybody to look cool, like criticizing makes you look cool, right? Like, oh, you notice that, and also you state that clearly. That shows that you are powerful and so on. Some people think that way, so that's why Ishiba is always like has been critical to act cool and so on. But because of that, even though in politics you need a lot of friends and allies, because he criticizes everybody, he doesn't have many allies. And but Akazawa is from the same prefecture as Ishiba, same Tottori prefecture, and very loyal to Ishiba. So that's why, like, we expected another minister, like a economic, what's the word? Like METI, Ministry of Economy, Economy, Treasure, and Industry. I don't know. It's such a long name. Like an economic one, like a regular economic minister would handle that, but it's another guy, the revitalization minister. So that is odd, but that is due to their personal relations. And we are also realizing that Ishiba just doesn't have many allies. Speaking of which, when I went to Tokyo, I visited, like we, after talking to our parliament members, we had time, so we went to this gathering of conservatives. It's held by the hotel owner, Appa. There's a hotel chain called Appa. Like if you spell Japan and took the center of Japan, it's Appa. So that's where the name comes from. I learned that recently. But anyway, so Appa group, they are conservative. So they had a gathering, and the female LDP member, conservative member Sanae Takaichi was there, and also a famous critic or commentator was there, and he was talking about how Sanae Takaichi should be the next prime minister because she will be able to. She's really knowledgeable about economic security. She has served as a ministry for economic security of Japan too. So uh, many people are, you know, like not only that she is conservative, she is very knowledgeable. Uh, so after she had made a speech about her what she's been up to recently, she's not serving the cabinet right now because Ishiba is not her side. Like they competed each other, and so she doesn't want to go in. Rather, hoping the Ishiba administration, ends soon so that she can be the prime minister with her people. So that's where they're going right now. But yeah. Oh, super chat. Thank you. Another super chat. Thank you so much. Yoko-san, as a YouTuber, you are supposed to say something like, make sure to smash that like button and the bell notification and share the show with your friends at least once per show. That's a good advice. Thank you so much. Yes, so guys, smash the like button. I'm gonna read that. Make sure to smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and share the show with your friends. Yes. I'm gonna actually take a picture of that so that I won't forget the English. Like my English is not very good. Like it's gotten a lot better than before, but still like the natural expressions are hard to come up with. So yeah. I'm speaking a lot, so like I need to drink. Okay. Yeah, thank you. It's a good move for Japan with the interaction. Yeah, signature Trump pose. Yeah, isn't that cool? The Japanese people know that too. Like, yeah, because there's a picture of the same guy Akazawa who talked to Trump in the office. So they took a good picture. White House posted that picture. Trump sitting down at his desk and our guy standing up, standing next to him. And some people actually bashed that picture, saying that we are like it's. It's like, oh, Trump is the boss and we are the little guy. But that's a picture that's natural though, in my opinion, because like you shouldn't, it's important to be proud of your country, but also you need to know where you stand. It's important to have a dream, but anyway, so some people criticize that, like both on the right side and left side. But then some people, like LDP people, like supporters, like I follow them. This one LDP supporter, she posted a picture of like Netanyahu and other, like, was it Arabic nations, like three or four leaders standing behind Trump, at the desk, like same place, and saying that it's, and also somebody else said that it was a rather set as a courtesy visit rather than the negotiation visit. So like there are levels in diplomacy, right? So it was categorized as courtesy visits, so it's natural to take a picture like that. And also, it's important to pay respect to the country that you are visiting, right? So nothing wrong with that. But some people just want to bash. So yeah, it's tiring. It's tiring. Like I want to talk about politics, like what to do, what kind of productive relation we can build, and so on. But then it's not only Japan. I know that American side struggle with that too, but we are so caught up with like domestic struggles, like they want to pull you down, attack with every opportunity and so on. So yeah. Anyway, if your English is bad, you should hear our Japanese. That's a good comparison. Thank you. Thanks for your compliment. Yeah. Appa. Oh, it's actually only one P. Appa. The commercial of Appa is like Appa. I can't sing that. Yeah. Mizuho Uemura, I really like some of her points. Mizuho Uemura, on immigration. I wonder who she is. When will you do another song? Did you ever try to sing a parody of a famous song and change the lyrics? I actually uh have done that with Let It Go. Let it go, and I made it into Japanese, and also it says like, oh, revise the constitution. Kenpo kaeyo. But I can't really do that due to copyright issues. So yeah. Well, okay, I read that, and you're so late. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's been an hour. Oh wow. But if you give me super chat, I will stay. I need to make money. Um yeah. Like today I actually had to turn down my friend's offer to meet up. I'm like, no, today I need to talk to my people. So anyway, Cambodian products tend to be superior. Really? I have a, was it Cambodia? Yeah, I have a souvenir there. It's Cambodian, right? Yeah. Cambodia. So Cambodia is a puppet of China right now, but there are opposition people as well. And the biggest opposition party, the vice president at the time, came to Japan. Of course, like they were denounced. Like it's like they couldn't win, but they have a party, and this female vice president, I believe, at the time, came to Japan. My husband and I, we met her, and we were cooperating. Yeah, hope to meet her again. And she gave us a little souvenir, like a little basket thing, like a traditional product. So that was really nice. We have a lot of like Asian connections together with like Russian issues too. We were originally doing Asian issues, like CCP's violation of human rights. But yeah, my English is excellent. Thank you. Hardly has an accent, really. Like what's it called? Intonation, like ups and downs and so on, or sometimes or often, like it sounds so weird, unnatural. Yeah. You're staying up all night. You misspell super chat, really? Oh, super chat, thank you. I live in Iwate Prefecture, and your English is better than 99% of Japanese people I have met. You should, uh, this is the part, give yourself more credit. Thank you. At least I'm trying. And also, you guys are training me with questions. When you ask questions, I have to think, you know, uh, in my way. So, yeah. I want to learn Ukrainian language because I have Ukrainian friends now. You know, it's I'm so simple-minded that like when I was handling like Hong Kong issue, I wanted to speak Cantonese because that's the language that they speak. And when I was talking to Chinese people, I wanted to talk like speak Mandarin. And also Koreans. Like there was a time I was focusing on Korea, and I wanted to talk, speak Korean, and I didn't do any of that. But now I feel like Ukrainian language. Like I actually spent a whole week in Tokyo with Ukrainian people, and I now know one word, tak. Because our friends kept saying like talk 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 like when talking to each other, talk, talk. I'm like, what is talk? And it means yes or so, like that's right, kind of, you know talk 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 talk. Now I can say that. And I like learning English, I know languages, so I hope I get to do that. Americans English. I always think like there are a lot of immigrants in the US, and I always think like they shouldn't live in the US if they don't speak the language, or at least try to, Like living in the US as a citizen, like they don't plan to go back, those who don't plan to go back, they should be American, right? But I don't even speak the language, and that's so upsetting to me. Like I know that I'm not American, I don't live in America, but I have this huge, like, I have respect for American people and American culture. I love American culture, you can tell, right? And American English. I don't know what the obsession is, but I just find that language so appealing, like whoever is speaking the language, like whatever accent you have, like it's so cool for me, for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like it's like it's guided, I was born to do this probably. So, yeah. So then, but then with the mindset, when I look at immigrants, these like rude immigrants in the US, those who don't, like, they don't even try to speak American English, I'm like, why? maybe I should maybe I should write a metal song like, why? Why don't you speak American language? Yeah, it's really upsetting. Anyway, I'm crying because of that. When I make stupid faces, it's distort my face. Uh, so that's why but it's a lot to do with eyeliners. I draw these lines inside my eyes, So it's I guess these are breathing probably, and I'm stopping with a liner, so I like it doesn't go out like it should. So then my tears come from this side. Anyway, you're pro Russia? What? Yeah. Oh, so as we spent a week in Tokyo, we met one of our Japanese friend who is a counselor, like city counselor. He put things in a good perspective. Like, it's so weird. I've been saying this, but not in that order. So what he explained was about the territorial issues that Japan has. So, you know, China is threatening Senkaku Islands right now. Like Taiwan is in danger, so is Japan, Senkaku Islands in the south. But China right now is only threatening. But Russia is already occupying the Japanese territories. China it stands out, but they don't, at least they're not occupying our islands yet, right? And we're gonna fight over that. But Russia today, I understand that it's a Soviet Union, but Russia is doing the same thing right now. They're not gonna let go of that, no matter how much Japan talks to them, and no matter how even Abe talked to Putin and helped him financially, like economic, like we had economic cooperation in order to, solve the northern territory issue. They're not getting, you know, re- letting go of those islands. They're the same as Soviet Union in that regards. So, and they are occupying Japan right now. And another interesting, I will get to the super chat. Thank you. Another interesting perspective perspective I heard from the secretary of a parliament member in Japan was that Japanese people are so, because like Russia for example, they're occupying our islands, but Japanese people are so used to natural disasters, like earthquakes, typhoons, heavy rain, everything. Like we have a lot of heavy natural disasters. We get that a lot. That's why we have some kind of faith, even though people outside of Japan say that we are not religious. We are actually religious because those disasters happen, and we have to hold on to something. And also we are threatened by the nature, so we respect the nature. So that's the foundation of our belief. And but this guy was saying, our friend was saying that because we are used to natural disasters, when human disasters, like let's say, like for example, even like the atomic bombs, right? Uh, or air raids just happening during the World War II. It was dropped by who? America at the time. But what do we think about that today? It's like our expression is like the subject, like who did that is missing, in the expressions. Really, like seriously, in the monument, whether it's on our monuments or textbooks, it's missing. And it's like, oh, the atomic bombs were dropped. We don't talk about by who. And same for like territorial issues, like our northern islands are stolen, or our people, North Korean abduction issue, North Korea abducted like hundreds of our people. They're still, they still have our people in North Korea. And we don't talk about, like, we don't accuse North Korea. We talk about how we need to rescue those people and that it's a human rights issue. We don't talk about the aggressor, you know? And it's like, so our friend was making a point that it's like we are used to natural disasters so much that like it's with natural disaster you're the you get like you're passive, right? So just like that, even against humans, when people do that, it's like, oh, it just happens. We have that sort of mindset, and that's in the way of our healthy approaches. So that's something that I'm learning. Yeah. Anyway, super chat. Thank you so much. They don't respect English because they don't respect the people, nation, and they have pride. They take living here and the good things from the US for granted. Exactly. I can see that. Same thing is happening here with Chinese people living here. Like more Chinese people are living here. And some even take like a Japanese nationality, not because they want to be Japanese, of course, but because the passports, our passport is useful and so on, like for practical reasons, and also in Chinese community, I bet that it's the same for other Chinese in other countries as well, but they create, because there are so many people, with different backgrounds and so on, they can create a community in another country like Japan or the US, and they can circulate the like money flow within themselves, like without dropping their money here, like in countries like Japan. And that's such a serious problem that we need to tackle. Yes. Chinese people are, it's so interesting that Chinese people do not create their own stuff. Like, they're so good at stealing things like intellectual property or just robbery in general too. And also like fraud, like big telephone scam and so on too. Like Japan is, you know, kind of caught up in that too. So I can't really criticize when it comes to that, but they're so, like, they are smart in some way but not in the authentic, like, in a good way that we want them to have. So that's the sad part. I don't know why. Anyway, guys, without super chat I need to go. The language avoids giving blame. Yeah, never heard of that before. Really? Yeah, and also like, as for atomic bombs and so on, what we learn in Japan, of course, we are the loser of the war, so like that's the consequences. But yeah, also like in the monument, I guess in Hiroshima or somewhere, uh, we and also like what we learn in general or what the media says like is that we will not make the same mistakes again. When we talk about atomic bombs and so on, we are the victim, right? Like, that part alone, I'm not talking about the war in general, but just look at the attack itself. In that part, it's America dropped the bombs, Japanese people die, so that's the picture, right? Like only that picture. And then the monument and our media say like, oh, we will not make the same mistakes again, or we will never make the same mistakes again. I'm like, what mistakes? you know it sounds like we were the bad guy to receive the bomb or something. It's so unnatural and weird, but that's what we go through. And what's interesting, for example, is Chinese nationalists, for example, like Mao type of people, the bots on X, they will come at you like whenever you criticize CCP, but they don't, and they often just talk about how like, oh, Japan was, you know, bad, like atrocious and blah blah blah, but they don't consider the part. They probably think that because like conservatives like myself exist, in Japan, like, oh, Japan, we patriots of Japan, we say that, oh, Japan should embrace our, heroes, our amazing history, and we should be proud of our history and also acknowledge what really happened precisely in history. We talk about all these things, and then Chinese nationalists like CCP type often criticize us, right? But I can tell, but they probably mistake Japan for like our mistake our like educational and media system just like theirs, because they grow up watching like anti-Japanese movies, and they have a ton of like fake stories, that they're sharing. They pile up all this imagination, but meanwhile in Japan, in school, we are taught that we are the bad guy, you know and that's why it's like, what's the word for handle, like it just came like a rebound. It's like a rebound. I learned in school that Japan was bad. We were the we aggress, like, we expanded and so on, even though the core, it's not correct, but what I believe is now different. But back then I learned their narrative, CCP narrative in Japan. I learned that in Japan, but CCP and their supporters bash Japan. It's so weird. Oh, now that is super chat. Thank you so much. I wouldn't mind if you spoke more Japanese during the show, even if you were just saying the exact same thing in both languages. Help me with language input. I'm not sure if anyone else agrees though. Yeah, I don't know how many my viewers understand Japanese, but I guess I could teach you though, right? Sometimes when I don't remember, I'll just say in Japanese, and some people can translate. Yeah. The issue is not saying we are bad; it's that it did a bad thing. Yeah. Oh, Germany. Germany doing one bad thing doesn't mean you should hate it, every aspect of their culture or history or other things that did well. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, like you can tell that they are bashing in order to get something politically. Like they're doing it for a reason. Like it's not like they're emotional. They're doing it to degrade your reputation, to cut ties with other countries and so on. Because that's exactly what CCP is doing for Japan. They keep bashing Japan because for them the worst premise is that Japan and the US has this strong ties, the strong alliance. That's something that they're trying to cut. And in order to do that, they keep, they can't really criticize Japan today because it's not like we don't even have our military officially, and it's not like we're going into some other place to conquer and so on. We are not doing any of that. So they don't have anything to bash us to, bring us down. So they're using past, like the historical cases and distort the narrative or fabricate the facts, and they that's how they bash us. So always there's a intention behind every move of them. Let's see. I appreciate your opinion on this one. I don't know Japanese. I'm a Taiwanese American viewer. Oh, cool. So I can only listen and interact in English. Hello, Random Yoko. I'm Taiwanese American living in America, and I'm also pro Trump MAGA. Cool. And that's how I find your content through X algorithm. That's nice. I appreciate our shared values and common interests. Thank you so much. It's so interesting, you know, that uh, often like looking at the claim by Chinese nationalists and also like pro North Korean South Koreans, like South Korea is has many different opinions as well, but like they get like manipulation, by North Korea and China, so they sometimes join on their side as well, like North Korea and Chinese side. But South Korea, for example, they have a history of bashing Japan, but Taiwanese people do not do that. But both countries, or I recognize Taiwan as country today, but so both South Korea and Taiwan went through annexation, but their attitudes are like their stance are very different. So that's something that the Western people should consider, because that's how much South Korea is affected by, what's the word, like information manipulation. I'm not saying like, oh, Taiwanese people loved it or anything. Like history always like that sort of history always have negative consequences. But yeah, so that's interesting that there's a huge because they're still holding grudge on that, bash us still today, while we are on the, like, even Japan towards America, we went to war, we killed each other, but we have this strong alliance, but not South Korea. With South Korea we are struggling, and President Yoon was fixing it, but then he was it's really terrible what's going on in South Korea. Still, it's difficult for him. He had to, you know, choose the path that he did, and now they have to renew their leader. So yeah, but yeah, Taiwan is amazing. I uh, I visited last year. I also went to Taiwan in 2014 as well. But Taiwanese people, like, uh I I learned about this very smart guy who I think he invented the app to trace like a COVID thing. Like I don't exactly remember what it was about, but like there was an extremely smart guy there, right? And also their microchip is like 90% of like a really advanced microchip in like or semiconductor in the world is occupied by Taiwan. Like Taiwan is really ahead, and but it's great that you know T TSMC is build they've built a factory in Kumamoto Prefecture in Kyushu Island. So it's a win-win situation for Japan and Taiwan, and I'm happy about it. They're probably gonna build another. So yeah, and Taiwanese, I really like William Lai, the president right now. He's very charismatic. Like I smell the good like sense from him, just like Shinzo Abe. You know, like really charismatic type, very hardworking. And I read a biography kind of thing. Like somebody wrote, the journalist in Taiwan wrote about his life. And I read, it was translated into Japanese, so I read the Japanese version. But how he grew up with her mom and that he was a doctor and then he became a politician. Like he's such a he serves a lot to the people, you know, talking to people individually, and it's amazing, you know, and the really wild way of like he is into baseball, so he's doing baseball diplomacy, and also, he did great thing. Like there was a Japanese building in his city, I believe, and he used it to make it a library and so on. Like very like spontaneous, really like you know you think like he thinks of a lot of interesting things, and his diplomacy also is like everybody will just like Taiwan, you know, because of the approaches. Of course, Taiwan is one of the first countries always to support Japan whenever we have natural disasters. And we love Taiwan for it, you know, always thoughtful, such a great neighbor. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. Oh, thank you for your super chat. Yoko, have you seen the funny commercial? RFK Jr.'s vice president candidate released about TDS? Trump derangement syndrome. What? It's quite hilarious. You can find it on YouTube. What? I want to see that. That's interesting. Huh. Trump derangement syndrome. That sounds like a big word. I don't even understand that. Derangement. What is derangement? Derangement. Sometimes I need to look up the word, you know. Sakuran. Sakuran. Resourceful. Oh, resourceful. Kumamoto. Two nanos? I don't know. US-Japan relationship is like two guys who fought each other one time and ended up great friends. Yeah, exactly. Japan needs to rebuild our economy fast. Yeah. So that we can get back in game. Yeah, but Japan is still traumatized by the World War II, though. That like because you know, as I said, like China and some people from South Korea, they kept bashing Japan so much that we kind of have lost hope. You know, like many people, not our politicians or myself, but generally Japanese people believe, unfortunately, because of the brainwashing by the media and education system. But we are taught that we will be irresponsible, basically. You know, we will be bad again once we have like our military forces officially. But at least the bright side is that, as I said, Japan has natural disasters, and because of that, young people nowadays, for example, the huge one was in Fukushima in 2011. You know, the Fukushima disaster, the nuclear power plant. That's how many years ago is that? Ah, 14. Is that 14 years ago? Happened, right? Huh? I can't do the math. Um, but so what that means is that like young people saw that, and so like they and over again too, after that too, that we keep seeing self-defense forces people uh, helping those who are affected by natural disaster, not only earthquakes, but heavy rain and so on too. Sorry, my throat is like dry. Yeah. So, and they when they see like self-defense forces people uh, helping the locals and so on, they are touched by it, like, oh, I want to be like that. Or maybe some of them were affected by the disasters, and those natural no self-defense forces came to save them. So then that's like they want to grow up to be like them. So because of that, and that is like kind of helping our self-defense forces in, like, we have the aspects. Yeah. If East Taiwan moves back to West Taiwan, China, and the Taiwanese government starts living in Beijing, and she gets exiled to 5-acre island, can Japan have the older Chinese Taiwanese island? That's a crazy scenario. But yeah, no, Japan, because we are traumatized, like generally, we don't believe in ourselves to enough to take the initiative in anything. The only initiative that we tend to take is like reconstruction after the war, or like backing our friendly or alliance nations and so on. Yeah. We are in a weird position. So such a loss for the world too, because as you know, like Japan has a lot of like good technology, and people are like, especially those who are good at engineering and so on, like they are passionate, they like creating stuff, they like to work hard, but our government is not investing enough and so on. Speaking of technology, did you see the news of Blue Origin, is it called? The rocket with Katy Perry on it. They went to the space for 5 minutes or so and came back, and Katy Perry is kissing the ground, pretending like acting like an astronaut. So somebody on X, I saw somebody said on X, that they are not astronauts, but they are cargo. Cargo. Like, that's the best expression. I bet that it's breathtaking, it's like world changing to be in the space, to see the earth, like where all of us live from a different angle. I bet that it's like a, life changing thing. But like, it's not like astronauts. Like, astronauts are amazing because they actually contribute to the world by what they do. And it's really risky and dangerous to do that job, to come back here safely to. They are, it's like they're taking the risk for the contribution. And also, if my understanding is correct, like in the zero gravity world, like, you don't, like, the muscles and bones and so on, uh, they become smaller and weaker, right? So like that's what they do, and not 5 minutes in space. That's not like it will. ins- inspire you, but it's different from astronauts and so on. And so that was really bizarre to see what they did. They just had a trip. Yeah. They're on a glorified roller coaster. Let's see. Japan needs to realize pride isn't bad in and of itself, but what you're prideful about or what you have pride in. Oh, that's an important point. Okay, good night. Oh, you're gonna go to sleep? I just got here, but I might have to go to bed. Okay, I hope you sleep well. Thanks for coming. Sleep well. Let's see. It's 3. Should I go? Should I go and let you guys fall asleep? Katy Perry is barely qualified to be cargo owner. Yeah, she was bad. Like all these liberal figures are sad. So sad. Like I work. I sometimes work with liberals, for human rights issues. So I don't want to criticize them now, but I have to say that they are like American, like big figures, like Katy Perry, for example. Like they're like, I guess it's the influence of communism, like against, it's the fight against the 1%, although they are like the 1%, it's not 1%, but like they're extremely rich and famous, and they're on the top level, but they behave like they're with the people. And when they do that, they bash people, right? And instead of like, make America great again, that agenda or slogan is great because it's like you guys together to build the country back to where it was, and for the better, right? It's so positive, such a positive thing. But liberals are always complaining, like they're like resistance type of energy. And I'm not against resistance in general, but like they're just so negative, I have high energy. It's like I don't like that sort of negative approaches. Yoko, why you do this so late? Because of time difference, man. Time difference. And I'm not an early riser. I came back to Fukuoka last night too. So I kind of woke up early though because I kept waking up early in the morning for a week when I was in Tokyo. So I did wake up a little bit, but I wanted to sleep in because I was like sleep deprived for the week. So yeah, Maga Majaha, that'd be amazing. Yeah, but guys, one aspect is that I'm actually having a little struggle or difficulty to support Trump in Japan. Like not because of I, I don't know if it's because of Trump, but like people keep criticizing him so much that like it's it's hard to like how it's the same in America too, I bet. But like how people judge you based on what you stand for and so on, and it's yeah. But I'm still here the way I am, so I got a bear in this. I agree, Yoko. So refreshing to hear your opinion. Thank you so much. So nice that there are people like you, to that we are on the same page, and that's great. I think the difficulty of politics is that like you can't like the mm, conditions that every country has are different, and sometimes because of that sometimes you have to compete, or other times you have to bash the others and so on. And yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy for you. I know it's only 3 p.m., but I'm like, yeah. Anyway, should I go? No more super chat? I recently read a lot of posts on X that Japan Saitama currently has a large Muslim population. Was this recent? I didn't hear about this until earlier this year. Yeah, it's a social media thing. Like in Japan we have like depending on where you are or like well, how should I say? Like each place has like a population of tendency, right? Like that's what happens when humans live together. And so, for example, I believe that Shin Okubo of Tokyo, is it Tokyo? Shin Okubo? Is where Koreans lived. Like a lot of Koreans lived. And today it's more international, it seems. But like it's really international there. But other regions are different. They're not like that. But if you go there and visit and just take a video there, then you will believe that oh, Japan is now like extremely international, like or you don't see Japanese people. That would be the case. And same for Saitama, the is it Kawaguchi, the Kurdish people, right? Yeah, that region, a lot of Kurdish people. But in other regions, there are a lot of Chinese people, or in other regions, Brazilians or Indians. Same for Japanese people in the U.S., for example. Like, not all of them belong to the group, but I hear that there are like Japanese people in America that who get together and so on. Like they create a community. It's the same for other races, and it happens everywhere. And Japan is not an exception. So in my prefecture, I believe that there's even a school that a class like in school a class majority of them are Chinese, for example. Like that kind of thing happens. But the problem of the Kurdish case is that even though it was great that the problem came to the light through social media, but because of that, our government and our uh, what's the like parliament members are taking care of it, and many have already left, and they're thinking about some others are planning to leave and so on. Things situation is changing, but those who are making it a scene is those who don't even live here. Like it's particularly we have a couple of agitators, from the West, that like they know that if they say a certain things, they can get views and so on. Or maybe the person is delusional, I don't know, but they some of them, like this one guy in particular, this British guy, he pretends to be a Japanese citizen in Japan, but he's a British guy in the UK, and that he doesn't even speak Japanese. I don't think like we like with the uh, foreigners in Japan too. Like they don't think that he's been to Japan either. Like his understanding of Japan is really distorted and like very delusional. So probably like he's judging Japan based on what he sees on social media. So we are having a hard time with agitators like that, like taking things out of context, because you can just cut out one place and then you can put a caption and people will believe that. So that's like social media problem exists. Yeah. Brazil has the highest Japanese population outside of Japan. Yeah, Japanese people live in Brazil. Like that's the biggest. Yes, 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 yes. And Brazilians, lots of Brazilians live in, I think, in Aichi. like where Toyota is, like yeah, I don't know what it is, but like near like automobile or vehicle companies or I mean factories, they're Brazilians. I don't know. I've never looked into that, but yeah. I wonder what happened to this like Brazilian YouTuber in Japan. I used to watch his channel. It was fun. But yeah, mm, just so you know, super chat will be appreciated. Okay. Japan is unusual among American allies as they don't have a true military. As long as Japan requires America for defense, there is no reason to. Uh, there is no reason to suspect the U.S. will abandon Japan. うんアメリカを必要とするならばする限り There's no reason. I see, I see, I see. Because we are dependent. We can't live without you. That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. Um, yeah. What's important among Japan in Japan is the Japanese people, in my opinion, has to or like it's a mutual understanding of conservatives in general, but we believe that like conservative people believe that of course we want to maintain the good alliance with the US, but of course like US is having a hard time paying for everything, right? Like there's always a cost, and even though Japan is paying a lot for the US, which is kind of weird considering the historical background, but we are paying, right? Because it's a win-win situation. But still, like of course like Japan has to become a normal nation with our bases and our military forces and so on. So like conservatives in Japan with common sense, we want to just militarily independent. But when we say that, some people like both on the right side and the left side, there are extreme people like, oh, just kick out the US and so on, which is not realistic, right? Like if we just get rid of the US bases, then um it would put Japan vulnerable, and that would affect to the all like East Asian district or area. So that's not good. So it takes time, but at least like Japan revised our national security documents back in the end of 2023 under Kishida administration. So yeah, we are gradually changing, and also we are not only we want to diversify uh, what we are doing like militarily. Like we are dependent on the US, but also like there's a risk to depend on one country. Even though we love America so much, at the same time we need to balance it out in the world, so like when something happens we don't fall, right? So right now we are developing a fighter jet with the UK and Italy, like three countries, Japan, Italy, and the UK. We are developing a fighter jet, so that's symbolic. But yeah, also are we have a free and open Indo-Pacific strategy, and based on that, we are cooperating with other countries as well. So yeah, I think we are in a really like a what's the word? Pivot, like changing point. Yeah, historically, Fukuoka has connection with Korea more or with China more in your sense. Yeah, it's Fukuoka is my place is considered to be an international place in Japan because of because we are very close to Korea, Korean Peninsula, really really close. It might be closer than Tokyo. Like flying there is really easy, like really fast. Like you fly, eat a little bit, and then you have to like you gotta hurry because you're gonna, you know, get to South Korea. Yeah, I wanna visit South Korea again. It was fun in South Korea. But it's interesting that when we visited South Korea for CPAC South Korea, um, we went there, and after that we had a little bit time to do some sightseeing, So we were walking around in the city, and the those who do the, we call it catch. I don't know why you guys call it us, but there are people on the street, like trying to, grab you as customers, right? Like to their restaurants or whatever. And those people speak to me and my husband in Japanese. like, like we're not even talking, and they can tell that we are Japanese. So that was interesting. Probably the clothing though, but yeah. Oh, Sabaja, thank you. Have you been to America? If so, where did you go? I've been to California and Virginia. Yes, but I was a silly, stupid teenager, and also the second time I was in my 20s. But I was so young and not sophisticated at all. I didn't understand history or politics or anything. I was just a depressed. I used to be a depressed metalhead, so I want to go back. I want to go back and, correctly, respectfully observe America to, enjoy the culture and so on, and communicate the people with the people. It'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. America is just too big, though. I want to visit many places, but I can't believe that you guys have a time difference inside your own country. Like, do you ever do you ever consider that? I can't even imagine, like, because Japan, like, we have a, the what is it called, like, standard time inside Japan, of course, but that's the only time that we have. Wherever you go in Japan, it's the same time. It's so weird that you guys have like hours difference inside your own country. Yeah. But yeah, uh, I really liked San Francisco. I wish I had more time to look around. I I remember the narrow street, the symbolic this type of street. Like my friend's boyfriend at the time had a car, of course. So like he let us get on the car. He drove, but it was so like steep and like like, like you have to curve really quickly. So like yeah, it was kind of scary, but yeah, and also Full House. Full House. I saw Full House too. But anyway, 47 prefecture is hard to get to when living in Japan. Yeah, like I've never been to, you know, like for example, Hokkaido or Okinawa. I want to go to Hokkaido and Okinawa too, both like to the north and the south. But both, because both look so beautiful, and I want to go there. Yeah, and I need to go to Hawaii. Aloha way. How many prefectures have you been to? I've been to all Kyushu islands. So my place, and then Saga, Oita, Kumamoto, Miyazaki, Kagoshima, and then Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Nara. That's 9. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, and Miyagi. I went to Sendai, to Fukushima. Oh, and Fukushima. 11. I think 11. Yeah. Yeah. Or wait. No, even more. And Yamaguchi. So 12. And Hiroshima. 13. I think I went to Shikoku, right? あれ出雲大社島根 14 Shimane too. Like there was a time that we had a car, So because of his my husband's job, so we I tagged along when he had to go to a work trip, just to sit next to him. So we went to some other prefectures back then. 14. Anything else? Maybe more, but something like that. Yeah. But each time not a long stay though. But yeah, but inside Kyushu, of course, I've like stayed the night and so on. But yeah, I want to go to Nagoya. I've never been to Nagoya, so I want to try Nagoya and then Okinawa, Hokkaido. I'm curious of Ehime too, the orange place. I like the official character of Ehime Prefecture. Yeah, it's called Mikan, just like Mikan. So cute, like a doggy. Oh, Yokohama? I've been to Yokohama, the Chinatown. Yeah, because one day, like after the gubernatorial election, I was staying there for a little bit longer, and then like we all got into a van and drove to Yokohama, ate a Chinese food, and then came back. And I wanna visit Yokohama properly. It'd be great. And also, I need to see Mikasa, the ship of from during Japan-Russia war back in 1904 to 5. Yeah, it's still there. So I believe that's in Yokosuka also. I recently have been reading history about Japan and Taiwan during my spare time. It was a fascinating time for both of our history and the opportunity learning from different moments. Long story short, I understand that in all of history, it is messy, and no one does things perfectly. In my opinion, I don't hold grudges against our fathers before us who have long passed away. Yeah, but over time, I'm glad that both Japan and Taiwan are stronger allies today. Long live Japan and Taiwan friendship. Yes, I agree. Yes, 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 yes. Uh, like because Taiwanese people have like a very high, I don't know what's the word for Mindo. Mindo. Mm, Mindo. Let's see. Mindo. The it's so hard to type with one hand. 英語で standard of living and cultural level or level of culture and behavior. Oh, English doesn't have the civility. Civility, I guess. High civility, cultural standards and so on. Like Taiwanese people are really high level. So we respect Taiwanese people, and also like we can relate. Like we both get like earthquakes and so on too, and like I guess we are kind of similar. Like a culture wise, and so like a Taiwan, like we have a special place in our heart for Taiwan. Like it's hard to explain, but like brothers and sisters. Mm. And I really loved Hong Kong too, man. I wish that China didn't take Hong Kong. I wanted to visit Hong Kong again. Mm. I was friends with Hong Kong independence type of people, like not liberal but on the right side. Hong Kong independence people. Too bad they can't do that anymore. So sad. Could you write the names on a blank map of all 47 prefectures? I don't think so. Geography was like I was so terrible at geography. I was sleeping in every time my teacher spoke. So that's that was geography was the worst. The score that I got in school, like geography was the worst. The second was surprisingly English. So it's interesting that both English and geography are something that I I am, talking about every day now, but those were my worst subjects in school. But anyway, yeah. I know majority of places in Japan. I think like at least I know the region, but like which is where and so on. I sometimes get confused. Not my husband though. Like he is an elite. He knows everything precisely. I sometimes get confused. Like I didn't properly study, like I was a good kid, and I did listen to teachers and so on, but sometimes I would get off, what's the word, distracted, or sometimes the teacher wouldn't pronounce things correctly, or I mean clearly, or like the writing on the board, blackboard was terrible, and I couldn't read and so on, and that would create a hole in my understanding. So yeah, and I didn't study afterwards either. So. Yeah, I want a map. I think I know the world map kind of good in a yeah, but not as good as it should be. We have a large amount of land to all be the same time would be silly. Really. Apples in Aomori. Oh yeah. We do get like Aomori apples here in Fukuoka. The what's the word for butsuryu? I forget the word. 物流、英語、logistics. Logistic? Distribution? Physical distribution? It's good in Japan. So like when you go to grocery store, usually you get all these things from other places. How about Niigata? My brother lives there. Ooh. Oh, I've been to Nagano for a school trip when I was in high school. Like we in Japan, like we have a school event, we travel afar. And in my school, public school, we went to Nagano to ski. I'm actually good at ski because my dad taught me when I was little. So I can do that, but not my friends. So like I just followed my instructor like wee wee. Yeah. Anyway, also Bajasing, thank you so much. Thank you for spending time with us, the fans, and sharing your perspective on current events this afternoon. God bless you and your family. Happy Easter. Thank you so much for your thoughtful words. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your super chat. It really helps my channel and me. Thank you so much. It's so important to, keep in touch and get the communication going. I realized that doing engaging in political activities for over a decade now, which is kind of short time in politics, but it's a long time for me. But yeah, the more I engage in political activities, I realize that I'm learning a lot, that it's really important to communicate, just to communicate, to have friends, be friends, so that you don't want to think negatively about the other, or you at least want to try to understand like why, like when something bad goes, when something bad happens, you're like, wait, why? You question. So instead of judging, right? So that's really important for the world peace, and also for your wherever you're from, probably good for your national interests as well. So it's really like I never take it for granted that all of you gather here in my chat section. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Aomori Blue Sea. You see, Aomori, Hokkaido has this really, is it blue or green? Like really strange lake. I want to go there too. I know Minzoku. I learned the word from anime. Yeah, Minzoku is very important. One thing that you should be aware of when you talk about like the colonization by CCP and Russia today, like they use the word like both China and Russia. They use the word ethnic minority, but it's not correct because that's their perspective, the aggressor perspective. And from the people that are colonized or occupied by those countries, it's their country is their country, like it's independent. So what happens is that it's at least it's a nation state, instead of minority or ethnic minority and so on, or yeah, ethnic groups or something like that. That's not like that, it's independent nation or a nation state. So that's something that was interesting for me when I first began to, engage in the activities about human rights issues. Trump is fighting with feud over Maryland MS-13 deported to El Salvador. The guy that mistakenly sent to El Salvador, or I don't know. Evening all, happy Easter! Happy Easter! Yay! Anyway, I think I should let you guys go, right? Like I know, like I know that I can sense that you're dozing off in front of the whatever screen that you're watching. So, oh, someone left. Was it exposed or I don't remember which, but somebody said that he is listening to me talking while driving. So safe drive if you are driving. Yeah, so cool that I'm like a radio. Radio from Japan. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess I should go. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me. And also, um, before you go, make sure to check out my Fox News article if you haven't. There's a video attached to the article, and I'm speaking eloquently there. The video was done really, really well. That it made me look like I speak well. So that was really nice to see. I'm really thankful. Okay, thank you so much. Next time, right? Next time. What today? It's 20th. Okay, I should be here, right? Okay. Happy Easter. Have a great time, on your end. Crisis rising everyone, or reason everyone. Bye. Have a good rest of Easter. Yes. Have a great time with your family and everything. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Okay. Have a great reminder of your day. A remainder. Okay. Thank you. And have a great day or good night. Okay. Next week. Let's meet next week.